Peep the Magician is wishing everyone who likes this video and subscribes good luck. If you look closely, you can see my son hiding. A child. What's that? Me holding an Oreo milkshake. It's spicy, you won't like it. Earlier my daughter asked me if grown-ups ever cry. I sat down with her, hugged her, and explained that grown-ups do cry, and that we feel scared, sad, angry and everything she feels. And it's fine to feel those things. She then asked me if grown-ups pee. Flashback to when I was 6 years old and didn't totally understand the severity of 9/11 when it happened. This week America was attacked by two Maoists. Logan was star of the week. We read stories about frog and toad books. This week was the first week of homework. Mother in stitches after child cuts up real money to use Queen's face on dolls. So my girlfriend's 7-year-old daughter introduced me as her add-on male friend to everyone at her birthday party today. Guess I'll let you all know how the interview with the police goes. This image is lovely, yet so painful. She told me she used to eat these when she was a kid. My daughter was being too quiet, so I went to check on her. As a kid I thought of being audited by the Internal Revenue Service as a serious threat, in the same vein as quicksand and the Bermuda Triangle. I was seriously worried about it happening to my family. I grew up in Canada. Our kid woke me up right at 7 by whispering in my ear about how she's trying to contact me about my car's extended warranty. She then gave me a titty twister. That's my girl. Kill me. Ferrier's brother just found a TikTok life hack that you can make eggs on a pan by frying it. He took the pan and the egg and started making the fried egg TikTok life hack. Literally just a regular fried egg. Few minutes later he came to our room disappointed, saying that the life hack was lying and it didn't work. To go along with the theme, here's my son's quarter incident in between 1.5 weeks switching jobs with new insurance. $12,000 hospital fees and $4,000 professional fees. When I was a kid, I was taught English was the only language that existed. I asked my dad if the German neighbors spoke that weird way, but heard each other in English. I'm a linguist now. When my 4-year-old asked mommy, does a snowman have 3 balls? I realized my biggest problem is I'm just not, nor will I ever be, nature enough to have kids. Stupid things I thought as a kid. My hair goes down. So, that must means I live on the top of Earth. That also means your hair tells you where you live. Since there's a theme about hide and seek, here's my 3-year-old. Someday when I was 4 I called for my parents at 3 AM because I was convinced there was a shark in my room. My mom tried to console me by saying honey, sharks can't live on the land and they also can't climb stairs, and my response was, and I quote, well, then how did it get here? When your niece decides this will make her dollhouse feel real, it's clay butt. When I was around 10 or so, me and my classmates had a disagreement if jacking off meant masturbating or having sex. Instead of looking it up, we decided to take a vote, after which me and a horde of other kids gathered around the ones who thought it meant masturbating and made fun of them. Mom wasn't happy about this one. Told a kid at the zoo that these were called Neek mole rats. He responds by yelling to his dad to come see the Neek morons. My little brother was crying because I didn't let him play with garbage. Saw the last kiddo hiding, and I raising my daughter in a super stealth mode. Father had to explain to crying son that he can't just hop on a starship and fly to Mars. Shout out to kid me who was dumb as a brick and thought that if you had a baby in a hospital and couldn't pay for it, they'd keep the baby as payment. When I was a kid, there were 2 Harley Quinn polos in our neighborhood, and I always thought that clowns drive these cars. Story: the going to the doctor's dress. My 8-year-old niece was going clothes shopping and picked up a cold shoulder dress and asked why it had holes. Her mother said it was for wearing to the doctor's office. to make it easy for them to give kids shots. She immediately dropped it on the floor and backed away. Similar dress, not my niece in picture. My daughter once washed her playphone in the sink, killed it, then she plugged it into my charger, which got water in the charger, which in turn melted the charger plug into my phone later, when I plugged it in. Good times. And that's how my 6-year-old daughter killed 2 phones in one shoot. My friend's story, when my friend was 5, he saw and grabbed girl with only her eyes showing, I believe. He saw her and shouted, "Look mommy, a ninja," or something like that. Listen here you little shut. Just tell your kids that the ice cream truck plays music to tell everyone when they've run out of ice cream. Unknown genius. Hide and seek master. I suddenly remembered one time when I was, like I think 6 or 7, we were at a restaurant with my grandma, me, who were the first people, Granny, Adam and Eve, me. Did the dinosaurs take care of them when they were babies? Reminder, the only religious person in my family was my grandma. Everybody else believed in science, and I was really into dinosaurs as a young kid. When I was a kid I thought HO scale trains were pronounced ho. So I was always telling my dad I wanted a ho train and he just laughed and laughed. SMH. My son gave me an ominous birthday greeting. It wasn't even my birthday. I still tease him. Happy birthday, Mom, I hope you have a good life. From your son. The 19th of September 2012. Beanbags. When I was 8 I was at my aunt's house for a sleepover. I was going to sleep on a beanbag, since all the beds are full. 9 PM everyone is asleep. When I suddenly have to pee. There was 5 toilets in the house. 2 upstairs and 3 downstairs. I was sleeping upstairs. But since everyone was asleep, I didn't want to wake anyone up. So suddenly I have the dumbest idea. I opened the beanbag's zipper and peed inside the beanbag, closed it up, and slept on it. Oddly enough, no one noticed. It didn't smell that bad until this day. No one knows I did it. I'd say it was a win-win. I never sat on that beanbag ever since. An 8th grade teacher's start to the new school year. Gonna be a fun one. What is something you are good at? Playing soccer. Arguing. What is something that is hard for you? To not give attitude. What is something you are good at? Talking. Yelling. Eating. Do you work better in groups? Yes or no? Yes. What is your favorite song? Dracula the Ruler Roll Bounds. What do you want me to know about you? I do what I want to. Or say what I want to. When I was a kid I never ate the wedge-shaped apple slices because I thought they were boats and I didn't want to eat the people in the boats. Browsing through r/kidsarestupid and I remembered one time when I was a kid I believed that bread would taste better when soaked in water. So I took an entire loaf of bread that my mom had just bought from Walmart and soaked it in water. I took a bite and realized it tasted awful, so I threw that piece away, but left the rest of wet bread baby on the floor like nobody was gonna find it later. Bruh. Wet bread doesn't taste bad though. You were like so close to making beer. I fell asleep on the floor while playing with Tucker and woke up to him jamming a Pop-Tart into my ear. My son tried to throw the Wii remote through the TV screen so all of the Wii people could come out to play with him. Back when I was little, I heard of a certain phrase known as laugh your pants off. Needless to say, I thought this was a fantastic phrase and therefore must become true. So naturally, my twin and I would take off our pants when we laughed. That got shut down pretty fast, though I didn't understand why. Wait, what? I would trade my dad for a Mahomes autograph. Toddler breaks TV by throwing toys to help his favorite superhero battle monsters. I need to protect Ultraman at all costs. The pan I used to make her favorite food got broken, and she was convinced we would never be able to eat it again. I visited my mom today because my niece was leaving to go back home. This was sitting in the dollhouse for 2 weeks. She thought the milk will drain out because it's in a bathtub. I stole daddy Twitter account by me Robux and I'd give it back. I remember when I was in 6th grade, The teacher caught me drawing on my arm with my pen, and she told me that my skin could absorb the ink into my bloodstream and kill me. I believed her. Was out for a walk today and noticed my neighbor's van door was opened. Rang his doorbell and let him know, and his son yells very angrily, "It doesn't matter." Dad goes, "Yes, yes it does matter. Thank you." I'm guessing the kid was the one that left it open. Oh no. Anyway. When I was like 7 years old, I hated my cousin, who was adopted and African American. When they were about to visit, I drew a sign which forbid him to enter my room. It was basically a drawing of a black kid with a big red cross over the face, and I assume it seemed pretty recessed to my family. Taking history class to tomorrow's starter. Design a superhero. Adolf Hitler. He can gas people with his farts because he wants to save the Jewish. Instead of washing a bowl or waiting for someone to wash a bowl for you, she eats cereal out of a plate. Why? Title: When I was a kid, I thought that instead of more kids being born, I'd grow up then take care of my parents because they would turn back into children. Coincidentally enough, my brother made the same theory years after that. Kids are ducking stupid. When I was like 8, I walked to the park and there was a man putting logo stickers on a new recycling bin. I asked what it was for, and he explained that you can put paper and plastics in it so they can be reused, which is better for the environment. I went home and grabbed a bunch of unused lined paper and brought it back to the recycling bin, thinking I was doing something good for the world. My girlfriend recently shared with me one of her early diary entries. Something I would like to be able to do that I can't do now. Learn new tricks on my scooter. Asked my 11 years old if her phone was on Friday when she was on a trip. Texted me back Monday, so the answer should be no. Parents thank you for taking you with them. It's really nice of them. So make sure you say thank you and have fun. Okay. Friday 7:16 PM. Is your phone on, babe? Today 9:57 AM. Yeah. That text was from Friday. Oh. While talking with my mom, I suddenly remembered a story she told me from her childhood. When my mom was in her teens, she was cleaning her aunt's house while babysitting her cousin Bev. Bev was annoying her. She was about 5. So my mom says, "Oh Bev, go play in the traffic." Not 10 minutes later, my mom heard car horns going crazy. She looks out and saw Bev sitting in the middle of the 4-way intersection. When I was about 9, me and my cousin pirated some Xbox games, put them on a USB drive, and plugged the USB drive into my cousin's Xbox One. Thinking the game's world just appeared. We didn't know you had to mod your Xbox for that to work. Little kid says bad word then cries. I still remember the disappointment of being wee in my dad's motor and occasionally driving past things that look like the shows, lights, and structures that look like a roller coaster. I'd say, "Oh, can we go?" That is nay the shows. And it'd be a building site or something. When I was a kid, my sister told me that crackles in the cinema screen meant it might explode. If I screamed or ran, I might set off the bomb. It was the scariest movie I ever watched. Modern problems require modern solutions. Back during middle school, they would sometimes treat us to special nation-inspired meals that always came with fortune cookies. These fortune cookies would always say something like, "You're doing great." My dumbass thought that they weren't real fortune cookies, so my great solution was to just eat the fortune cookie paper to get rid of it. Found this on my 5-year-old cousin notepad. Roblox is cool like watermelon because it let me talk to Pepple, but my daddy says I can't talk, so I do it to him. Haha daddy. Me and my mom were having a conversation, and my brother was trying to ask her for something. When she asked what it was he wanted, he said it started with a J. She then says she didn't know and he drink, while shaking his head like she was dumb. They then had a 10-minute argument about what drink starts with. When I was about 3 or 4, I thought that cars were powered by cats and dogs. I believed this for a while, until I was in the car with my friend on my way home from school, and I said, "I wonder if the cats are getting tired." When I was a little kid, I was scared of this dragon puppet in the Baby Mozart video. Once, when I was like 6 years old, I thought my mom was secretly pregnant. I would keep my ear on her stomach and hear stuff. Later, I was wondering where is the kid, and thought that it was hidden in their room or something. I'm a single child. How did you know? A 13-year-old kid in a Discord server just put this in the server's general chat and left. I'm speechless. Among Us potion. I don't know how my friends get more Obelix catty than me when I look like that. Da Vinci is a mechanic. 14-year-old kid beside me was out driving his mom's car. Couldn't get it in the drive and kept scraping it off the wall. Now has decided to try and spray paint it. When I was a kid, I didn't understand how pink was just light red, and I couldn't tell the difference between pink and magenta. Learning color theory shifted my entire understanding of the world. When I was around 5 years old, I was convinced that there was an alligator or crocodile at the end of my bed. So each night I scared in my bed. I curl my legs up to my chest afraid the gator would bite my legs off. Child trying to cut a sunbeam. 1886. Photo. Adam Diston. When I was like 8 or something, I tried to phone a friend, which I had done before. His dad picked up, but for some reason, I was too scared to say anything. So I hung up. 5 minutes later I try again. I freeze again. I hang up again, and then I never tried again. When I was a wee lad, I thought that the logo for ABC, the news team, was a chocolate cupcake like the ones from Little Debbie. When I was 5 to 7 I put a razor on my lip and pulled. It got stuck, and I had to go to the hospital to get stitches. 9. But as the dumb kids me and my brothers were, we one day decided to destroy an entire box of crayons in the GameCube disc tray. 5, 6, and 7-year-olds are not to be trusted with crayons. I just saw a little girl laughing at her dad and calling him dumb because she opened the gate her dad closed and locked. It was never locked and neither was it closed. One day, I was helping my little sister with her math homework. She was working on perimeter and area of shapes. One part of the problem she was working on was 9 times 7. She said she didn't know. I was a tad bit frustrated because I knew that she studied the multiplication table from 1 to 12 in 3rd grade. I told her all 2-digit multiples of 9 add up to 9. For example, 9 times 3 equals 27. 2 plus 7 equals 9. 9 times 5 equals 45. 4 plus 5 equals 9. She said she understood, thought for a few seconds, then blurted out, 34. I face-palmed harder than I ever had before. Kid playing Roblox. HS. Mommy, I accidentally colored on my hand. When I was little I was having gram camp where me and my sister would sleep over at my grandma's. When we were tucked in and left alone I was bored and was trying to reach the painting above my head. So naturally I used my tallest finger. My sister looked at me, and to be silly I held it right in my face. Boy did I learn what that meant. When I was a kid I thought that in your skull behind your eyebrows there were water tanks and that where your tears came from. And then one day my mom took me with her on her football training. I was on my scooter going in circles around the football field. That's when I hit my head on a goalpost. I didn't start crying at first, but then I touched my eyebrows, and then when I saw the blood I burst out crying. My brother's hand is now a crab hand. I remember when I was 9 years old, I was at school and I thought it would be funny to sit in the recycling bin. It was at first, but then I realized I was stuck. I was worried that I would have been stuck on my rear end for the rest of my life. When I was a kid I thought in animated movies people used a high-tech device to change the default Microsoft voice into a perfect voice by changing things on sliders, then wrote lines in a program, and it would say them. These two comments perfectly describe the two types of people on this thread. Perfection. Poor thing. Didn't Biden say that he will make anime characters real? He can do that? I don't know. I saw it on a TikTok. I don't know if it's real. Don't let kids watch memes. My brother has started watching memes recently, and guess what he learned? The term your mom gay lol, and go commit die, and no you and whoosh, you missed a joke. We are both our foreigner. Has been saying this to family and friends without knowing the meaning. Some kid today asked me if I had ears under my hijab, and I just stared at him. Then he's like, oh right, you can't hear me because you don't have them, and then he started using his hands to talk to me. If my cartoons don't play, you'll have a bad day. My middle child threw his fire truck at the TV because his cartoon wasn't on. 1 2 3 ready smile. My 11-year-old grandson accidentally looked up on YouTube. Found this in the files of my old high school's computer. Stand up for what you believe in. I love trains. 4-year-old daughter is crying her eyes out. Me. What's wrong? Tutu? 4-year-old. Moving her hands on the sofa. If my fingers were markers they would ruin the sofa. Me. But your fingers are not markers? 4-year-old. Peak distress. I said if. When I was younger and my family was at my grandparents' house, I decided that the best place to watch the movie/show, I don't remember all the details, was by lying along the top of the couch. When I inevitably fell off the back of the couch onto the hardwood floor, my grandpa ran over to me to see if I was okay. He asked me where I hurt myself, and instead of saying my arm or my knee or something like that, my response was the floor. Technically I did hurt myself on the floor,